Before we dive into fixing Agni, that is the digestive strength, and clearing Ama, the toxins, can you tell us about the Ayurveda clock?
Definitely. We often hear advice like don't eat too late, wake up early, make lunch your biggest meal. But why does timing really matter? Ayurveda has been talking about these biological rhythms for thousands of years with astonishing detail, and now science is catching up, discovering hormones like ghrelin, leptin, cortisol, insulin, melatonin, all of which rise and fall in daily cycles, just like the doshas, kapha, pitta, vata in Ayurveda.
How do the doshas relate to our daily rhythm?
So in Ashtang Rhythm Sutrasthan, it says, Vayo ahor tribhuktanam te antmadhyadika kramat. So what does it mean? Different energies dominate different times of the day. So these energies are doshas, kapha, pitta, vata. They rise and fall throughout the 24-hour cycle, influencing everything from your digestion to your mood and mental clarity. So the 24 hours can be divided into 6 distinct periods. So the kapha dosha, it's prominent from 6 to 10 a.m. and 6 to 10 p.m. Now both have the same qualities, but we use opposite qualities in the morning to prepare us for the day, while we use the same qualities to prepare us for the night. Then Pitta dosha is prominent 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. and 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Now during the day, we use the strong Pitta to help us process major tasks, be it for the mind or body. But at night, we want the Pitta to do the internal process. And the last Vata dosha, that's prominent 2 to 6. So that is 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. and 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now, both the times can get erratic, like the erratic nature of Vata. So Vata times are always tough to handle, day as well as night.
Interesting. Can we go through the 6 distinct periods in 24 hours? And why don't we start in the morning?
Sure. So between 6 to 10 a.m., it's the kapha time. So if you felt the air at that time, it's heavy, damp. Same way, sometimes we feel that slowness, that a heaviness in our body. So this reflects kapha energy in the imbalanced form, which if not addressed can lead to deeper imbalances in both body and mind. So what do? We introduce the opposite qualities, something like dry, light and warm. So get moving with light exercise, yoga, eat something warm and light, spiced oats or porridge before 9 a.m.
So is there science backing this up?
Absolutely. Melatonin, the sleep hormone, starts falling around 4 to 6 a.m. while cortisol, the hormone that wakes you up, spikes shortly after, so the kapha time, 6 a.m. when Ayurveda advises you to wake up. And dopamine, the drive and motivation hormone, that also peaks, boosted by light and exercise, which is why Ayurveda says wake early, move your body and feed your soul for that happy hormone burst. Then ghrelin, your hunger hormone, that starts rising around 8 to 10 a.m. signaling breakfast time.
And what about the next phase, the midday Pitta time?
So from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Pitta takes the stage. The sun is at its peak and so is your Agni, your internal fire. So Ayurveda says this is your best time to digest both food and information. So eat your biggest meal, not at night, not at brunch, right here, right now. Dense foods like lentils, grains, proteins, meat, if you eat it, are best handled during this fiery window. And mentally, Pitta gives you that focus, that decision making, the high performance. So this is your mental fire hour.
How does science support that?
So while there's no specific evidence that certain hormones or neurotransmitters peak exactly at noon, we do know that serotonin, acetylcholine, ghrelin, the hunger hormone, all rise during the day. These support gut motility and digestion, while serotonin also acts as a feel-good stabilizer. This combination keeps your mood balanced, your gut active, and your brain calm, perfectly aligned with Pitta's focused and driven energy.
And next up is Vata time in the afternoon, right?
Exactly. So between 2 and 6 p.m., Vata energy is active. It's light, mobile, and can be scattered, which explains that common post-lunch slump or anxious buzz around 4 p.m. So what does Ayurveda recommend? Anchor yourself. If tired, rest or nap. If restless, move or sit. Herbal tea. If hungry, go for nuts, dates with ghee, or warm tulsi tea.
What's going on hormonally in this phase?
There's a natural dip in alertness between 2 to 4 p.m. Leptin, the satiety hormone, that rises. Ghrelin falls. Dopamine starts to drop. which means less motivation and a dip in mood and energy. So instead of reaching for caffeine, grounding herbs help calm this jittery energy.
Then kapha returns in the evening. How do we adjust our routine?
So from 6 to 10 p.m., kapha is back. Now, instead of resisting the heaviness, you embrace it. So Ayurveda says, mirror nature, wind down, unplug. 9 p.m., try a warm spiced milk, cardamom, turmeric, nutmeg to lull your nervous system into a calm. Eat something light and soupy by 7 p.m. if you can. Think khichdi, soup or sauteed greens. This allows digestion to wrap up before your body starts its deeper work.
And how does science reflect on this?
So melatonin starts rising as the light fades, cortisol dips, leptin, the satiety hormone, rises, and ghrelin, your hunger hormone, falls, signaling your body to transition from do mode to repair mode. But bright screens or stress can kill melatonin and delay sleep, sabotaging this vital repair phase.
And what about late nights? What should people do?
So now comes the surprise. Pitta rises again, but this time it's not for digestion, it's for internal repair. So this is from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Ayurveda says that this is when your body processes everything you couldn't during the day. But if you're still awake, you'll feel that second wind, the false energy spike, the Instagram scroll trap. So this is the time when your body processes toxins, repairs tissues, and balances the microbiome. Sleep here is crucial. Here's what happens if you actually sleep at this time. So first, melatonin starts rising, peaks between 12 to 2 a.m. That is when you get the deep, slow wave sleep. This is the time when memory is consolidated and the brain detox happens via the lymphatic system. Cortisol hits its lowest level while GABA, that peaks. So there's that peaceful sleep. The growth hormone and the glutathione, that peaks. And what does it do? Tissue repair, fat metabolism, liver detox, gut lining regenerates, microbiome rebalances. Acetylcholine and norepinephrine, they are low. This is your body's night shift crew. So if you're watching TV, they can't do their job. Night eating during this time, total disruption. You're forcing the liver to digest food instead of toxins, leading to inflammation, poor glucose control, and fat storage.
And what about that 2 to 6 a.m. Vata period?
So this is the pre-dawn portal. Vata's tricky time. Melatonin stays high until 4 a.m. and then cortisol begins to rise. But if you're under stress, cortisol might spike earlier, triggering that 2 a.m. wake up, aligning with Vata time, disturbed energy of 2 a.m. Your brain and liver are still detoxing, and if anything's off, blood sugar, toxins, emotional stress, you'll feel it. This is the body whispering, not yelling. Pay attention. If you wake by 4 to 5 a.m., you're in the Brahm Muhurat, the divine time for meditation and inspiration.
And then the cycle repeats?
Yes, kapha returns, and with that, the heaviness. That's why Ayurveda insists, wake before 6 a.m., before the slump. Otherwise, you wake up feeling heavy and you drag it through the day. Cortisol surges, melatonin disappears, morning light hits your retina, resetting your circadian rhythm.
So, to wrap up, how do all these rhythms help us live healthier?
So, whether it's Ayurveda's Dosha clock or science circadian rhythms, they are all pointing to the same truth. When you eat, sleep, move, and rest matters. So before you go hunting for the next supplement or cleanse, ask yourself, are you living in rhythm with your body's natural clock? Because when you do, digestion improves, mood stabilizes, and healing becomes automatic. Thank you.